Hi, I'm sure that you have all heard the argument at some point or the other that, buying an apartment or buying real estate in an urban city in India like Delhi or Mumbai makes no sense, that it's far, far more profitable to rent an apartment. And, the argument is always extended in terms of, the money that you can make on the investment you make in real estate by not investing in real estate. So, for example, if you're buying an apartment for, let's say, 3 crores in a city like Mumbai, and instead of buying that apartment, you put that money in a market linked product or even the Sensex, which grows at 10 to 11%. Think about how much you could rent the same apartment for. The 3 crore apartment you could typically rent for about 1 lakh a month. That's something like 3% rental yield. So if you can pay just 3% of that apartment's value and pay that rent and put your money in an instrument which is growing 10, 11%, then you're far richer over a period of time. Now, does that argument make any sense? And that's what this video is about. And I'm going to discuss 4 reasons why real estate investments in India make a lot of sense. And this is coming from a financial advisor who primarily deals in financial assets, mutual funds, stocks, bonds. I'm not a real estate guy. I'm not selling real estate. I don't want you to buy any real estate through me. Make your own mind what you want to do. The first reason why you should invest in real estate in India. You see, real estate prices will keep going up in India. There is absolutely no denying the fact. For the longest time, I thought the most stupid argument was that there's limited supply of land and the population is increasing. You're the most populated country. That's a stupid argument because, you can keep expanding. It took me a while to understand that, this argument is actually a very good argument. Like, we have a limited supply and the population is just ever growing. And that's not the only reason why this argument stands. There's 2 reasons why this argument is correct and will always be true. Our own undoing for the last 50, 60 years, ever since independence, is actually the reason why real estate prices will keep moving higher. You see, since independence till now, we've not really done anything in terms of creating new urban spaces. We've got cities like Delhi or NCR now, including Gurgaon and Noida. We've got Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata. These cities have been around since independence till now. And then we have these tier 2 cities which have also been around. Jaipur, Pune, Chandigarh, Hyderabad, a lot of these other cities. But since independence till now, we've not really created new cities. You talk about the United States where the land mass is 3 times and the population is about 1/5 of India. You'd be able to count more cities which are world renowned in the US than in India, which has, as I said, 5 times more population than the US. China in the last 20 years has created 100 new cities. Some of them have failed, but a lot of them have flourished. So the problem with India is we have urbanization happening. The estimates suggest every year about 2.4% of people from rural India move to urban India. That's something like 3 crore people. And how many fresh units of apartments were delivered by builders in the top 10 urban cities in the year 2024? The estimates are something like 4.5 to 5 lakhs units for 3 crores people who are moving in. So it's not about whether money will be made, whether prices will appreciate. It's more relevant about where you buy your property. If you buy something in South Mumbai, which is, I personally visited some of those projects. There's about 20, 25 of these really high-end, ultra-luxurious projects where prices start at 4, 5, 5.5, 6 crores. There's about 10, 15 of them, 70 floors, 80 floors, 90 floors, 700 square feet for 4 crores, 900 square feet for 7 crores. That is something which I do believe is a little too expensive for it to make sense for anyone to make money on that. Also, personally, I thought, because I visited some of these places and I thought, standing on 67th floor looking down at the city, my worry was not about, whether ambulance or fire services can get to this place in case of emergency. I was more worried about, my pizza and the Zomato or Blinkit guy coming in. There's traffic jams outside. So I personally thought a lot of those new fancy high-rise projects are disasters waiting to happen. You should avoid those. But there's a lot of these tier 2 cities. There's a lot of these cities outside of these main cities. The expansion which is happening further beyond Gurgaon, further beyond Mumbai. That's where you should look to buy, and you'll make a lot of money there. So my second reason for investing in real estate would be rental income. And rental income is something which adjusts with inflation. Always remember that. So when people give you the argument of not investing in a fixed deposit or an instrument which makes 6-7% and is taxed at 30%, what they're essentially saying correctly is the fact that inflation will eat into your savings. But if somehow you get your rental income as high as your monthly expense, let's say your monthly expense is 1,20,000 today, and you have two properties, each of which you rent for 60,000. The rental income you make is 1,20,000 a month. This rental income will adjust in line with inflation. Real estate prices are a reflection of inflation, so is the rental yield. Always remember that. Real estate is just a shadow of inflation, because over time, the prices of steel, cement, making a house, land, everything appreciates in line with inflation. And that's the reason why a lot of these old smart time investors invest in real estate. So it's not so much about buying a property where you'll get an appreciation of the underlying land, or you buy an under construction property, flip it over. More than that, buy something which is commercially viable, which will make you enough rent to meet your monthly expenses, because that rental yield will keep growing in line with inflation. That's a very important point which people don't really think of when they talk about real estate. If you want to understand more about this, talk to some of the older people who purchased real estate many years ago and ask them not the price at which they bought that real estate for. Ask them how much they paid to construct it. What was the price of steel and cement and daily labor, which is called the hardy labor? How much did they pay to construct it? And think about how much it would be 10-20 years from now. So the rental yields on that property will adjust in line with that. So even if your real estate price does not appreciate, I don't see that happening at all in India anywhere really. Even if it does not, the rental yield will always be adjusting in line with inflation. The third reason why you should buy real estate, and not many people again use their real estate assets like this. Real estate can act as an overdraft facility. A lot of people consider real estate as a fixed asset which does not produce any money. It's a hard asset. You can't do much with it. That's not correct. When you need money, you don't always have to sell your real estate. You can take an overdraft facility on your real estate. It's like a LAP loan against property. You have loan against securities, you have loan against property. And if you push hard enough with your bank, sometimes you can get a rate of interest which is in line with your home loan rate, maybe about 50 bips higher than that. So let's say you want to get an auto loan, and you need to get an auto loan for 30 lakhs. Typically, you'd get that loan for anything between 8.5 to 9%. If you use your overdraft facility on your property, you'd not only get that loan at a cheaper rate, you'd be paying interest only on the amount utilized, unlike an auto loan where the interest is front loaded. If you look at this chart, this is like how you pay back your EMIs on a loan of 1 crore. You'll see the interest amount in the first few months is higher. This is like a 24-month loan of 1 crore where the interest is front loaded. This is how it always is. So in the first 6-8 months, you just keep paying interest and very little principal. After 6 months, you would have paid something like 19 lakhs and the principal outstanding would still be 85.04 lakhs. So that's like you paid only 15 lakhs in principal. So, once 12, 15, 16 months pass, it makes no sense to prepay the loan because all you've paid is interest and what's left is principal. Unlike that, when you get an overdraft facility on a loan against property or loan against securities, you pay interest only on the amount that's being utilized. So your principal and interest are being paid together. Fourth reason why I think real estate investments make a lot of sense, and this is particularly true for senior citizens, is because you can get a reverse mortgage on a real estate, which nobody talks about because it's not very popular in India. The idea is simple. If you own a property where the title is clear and you're 60 years of age or over, basically you're a senior citizen, you can get a loan on that property which gets paid out to you on a monthly installment basis, say 30,000 rupees a month. Real estate price keeps going higher. You keep getting paid a certain amount, and this amount comes to you tax free. So let's say from the age of 60 until you die, you keep taking a certain amount as, a loan against property each month. At the end of the term, when you die, or at whichever time you want to sell that property, the property is either sold off and the residual is paid out to your heirs or to yourself if you want to move to a different house, or you can always pay back the loan and get the property unencumbered, get it debt free again. So this is a reverse mortgage. I think in today's day and age, everyone's working, and there's no trend of doing this because somehow everybody wants to leave whatever they want to leave to their kids unencumbered. But in a country where there's so much problems with older people, this is something that should definitely be utilized. And I think I would encourage all seniors to actually use reverse mortgage, live a good lifestyle when they're old, and let whoever wants to inherit the property get it free and take it. So these are the reasons why I think real estate investments in India make a lot of sense. You just have to buy right. There are a lot of places where real estate prices are likely to appreciate in the next 3 to 5 years, and that's always the case. That will always be the case.